Call me. What's up?
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, what's up?
So right off the bat, this dude answers the phone like, "Yo, why you calling me? What's up?" 320, 700. I'll just bring that down to 320 times 0.85, 272. That's my max appointment offer. Green light. He dropped the first F bomb, so now F bombs are okay. What's up, guys? It's Josh D's here, and I'm showing you exactly how I made $20,000 on a wholesale real estate deal using the free REIAF Discord group, a list that was built and dropped in that group for free, no strings attached, by Nick Sicilian of the Sicilian Brothers. Check them out on YouTube. Nick talks about this all the time during his talks about it all the time in the free Discord, talks about it all the time during live calls, talks about it all the time in his content, his videos. He's a big proponent, big user of Deal Machine. Deal Machine is hands down one of the most cost effective tools out there for finding deals. If you haven't yet, please check out REIAF. Um, they have a free Discord group, and I just closed a deal that brought in $20,000 net to me from that group. So I owe a lot of my success here to the community and the mentorship at REIAF based in Dallas, Texas. Um, Nick, Tony, the Sicilian brothers, TJ Cosin, Dispo Donnie, Mason, everybody who helped out with that. If you're serious about real estate investing and you want to learn from experienced professionals, you want to connect with other investors that are just as ambitious, bright eyed, and bushy tailed as you are, and access powerful tools like having somebody there to talk to bounce ideas off of, ask questions. Powerful tools like Deal Machine, powerful tools like free leads and lists, and just having someone there who's been through it, done deals, and can, be there to help you with what you've got going on. REIF is a place to be. Their support and guidance have been a complete game changer for me. Whether you're just getting started or looking to scale, I highly recommend checking them out. It's not just a network, guys, it's a community invested in your success. So, thank you to everybody at REIAF for helping me with this milestone. Here's to many more. And here is their free Discord. It's kind of a jumbled up link, so I will get that to you. I'm probably going to send you a link along with this video. So again, Nick drops lists and leads into that chat constantly, and this deal came from one of the lists that Nick built using Deal Machine. Now, if you are just interested in the meat and potatoes, I'm going to lay it down for you real quick. I was in the Discord. Nick mentioned that he dropped the list in there. I went, took the list, uploaded it to my dialer, and the lead popped up. I made the call. I set the appointment. I met with the guy, got it under contract, and I assigned that contract to my buddy Jack Austin at New Western Acquisitions. If any of y'all are not in the Dallas Fort Worth area, I think New Western actually has offices all over in different markets. So check them out. I know that they catch a lot of flack because they have a high turnover rate, and they have a habit of, I guess, hiring young guys that don't know any better, guys and gals that don't know any better. But Jack Austin is a solid guy here in Dallas. Assign a lot of deals to him, and they all go through flawlessly. So huge shout out to Jack Austin for getting this assigned. I think it got assigned in under 8 hours. Actually, I'll have to check that, but one business day it got assigned. So um, that was basically it. So if that's all you needed from this video, peace. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in going over the calls and the details of the deal, stay tuned because that's what we're about to get into now. So Deal Machine, again, was the thing that was used to build the list that got the deal. Nick actually has a video on all the mechanics and how he built that list. I'll have that link to that video. It's YouTube. You can just go to YouTube and look up the Sicilian Brothers. Sicilian is in like Italian, Sicilian. Um, if you want to use Deal Machine, there's their link right there, dealmachine.com/REIAF. I do not have an affiliate link for Deal Machine. I do not have an affiliate link for anything here. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just doing this because I made 20 grand and I wanted to give back. So obviously, this strategy works by building a list on the parameters that you decide on. If you're in real estate, you've been around the block, you know about building lists and pulling lists and making calls and stuff like that. If you're new, um, real estate investors, we use um, programs and softwares and websites a lot of times to build lists. These are coming from large data aggregators who have millions and millions of data points on people and properties all over the country, just like credit companies, credit agencies, I should say. And so after you build that list, it can be like a high equity list, like you're looking for people who have owned their house for 5 or more years, have at least 30 to 40% equity um, within a certain kind of value. Usually that value is somewhere around the median sales price of a home in that general locality. Let me know if you want a more in-depth video on how to build lists. It's something that I have a propensity to kind of geek out on sometimes. You can get really kind of data sciencey. Let me know. But again, Nick has a video on that. If you go to YouTube and look up the Sicilian Brothers, it'll probably be the most recent video that they posted. And then I don't know if you guys have heard this or not. If you've been in the industry, you probably have TTP. That was made popular by Brett Daniels. He's a guy out in Arizona. TTP stands for Talk to People. That's all you got to do here, talk to people. So I've reimagined TTP and I've kind of broadened it out. Instead of talk to people, I've got TTPYDKARE, which is talk to people you don't know about real estate. So talk to strangers and talk to them about real estate. That's how you're going to get to the next level here. Pick up the phone, start calling, introduce yourself, try to bridge the gap, try to provide solutions to problems. I know we hear that a lot. What kind of problems? We've got absentee owners, you've got out of state owners, you've got inherited properties, you've got tax delinquents, foreclosures. Get creative, find a way to bridge that gap. If you need help, reach out because every deal is different. So build rapport with these people. You'll be able to tell if you have chemistry with somebody pretty quickly over the phone. Rapport is not something that you can really spend a lot of time explaining. It's just kind of something that happens. So set appointments, go on these appointments, and get belly to belly with homeowners in your market. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Now that you guys know how I got the lead, let's talk about the most important thing, actually acquiring this deal, locking it up, and assigning it. We're going to dive right into this deal. This deal was in a place called Ponder, Texas. It was a mobile home. I believe it was a 4-bedroom, 3-bath mobile home on about an acre of land. I had heard about Ponder before, never been. It's about 2 hours away from my house. So I wasn't super excited that this was the deal that shook out of the list. I really wasn't happy about going down there. I thought it was going to be like Bodunk, like down, tick it down, 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 tick it down, down, down. Um, it's Ponder, Texas. There's obviously some growth out there and there is some demand. I did not know that before going out there. I didn't do my research or anything. I didn't look up market statistics or whatever. The only thing that I did do, which is what I usually do when I'm on the phone with somebody, is I Googled the address. Once I got the address, actually, I'd like to start by saying that because of a technical mishap that happened when I uploaded this lead into my dialer, it uploaded, I think I selected the wrong column. It uploaded just as you see it here, Stony Valley, Ponder, Texas. I had no idea what the actual address was. I just had Stony Valley, Ponder, Texas. The um, I had to ask the seller what the number was on the address. So right from the get-go, this call wasn't going very well, and that's just kind of how it goes. But I stuck with it, and it worked out. So this guy turned out to be a guy from the oil field, kind of a no nonsense, no funny business kind of guy. This is the property right here that you can see. As you can tell, it's not the greatest. It is a mobile home, number one, and it's in disrepair. Like the siding's coming off, and we'll go into photos from my cell phone, and I actually set the appointment to go there. Um, which was funny. I almost didn't go. I was almost like, nah, fuck this. I was kind of like dragging my feet, not wanting to go, but I still kind of wanted to go, but I didn't want to go. So I got there. This is the first picture I took. There is stuff strewn all about. The siding is coming off. He's replacing this. Looks like a mixture of hardy board and tin roof. He's replacing that with cedar planks. And it looks like he's done some, obviously he's got some insulation and some bat insulation, doing something under there. He's blocked off these windows and put window units, one, two, three. The roof looks okay. um there's like insulation laying in the yard. I was like, oh man. So I meet him, walk inside, and we we talk, and he actually goes back up to 250, and I went down to 2-ish. And we kind of hit some resistance there, and I let him know straight up. I was like, I'm not gonna buy it at 200, but I do know some people that might. So this is how this is gonna go. I'm gonna get under contract with you for 200, and I'm literally gonna call other people to see if they want to buy it for 2 plus whatever I can get for it. Is that cool with you? And he's like, yeah, I don't care. I was like, all right, let me take some pictures. So this right here, this door right here is this door right here. I didn't go through the front door. I went over here because this is where we met outside at. So side door, boom, right off the bat, we got this exposed electrical panel and your verified official diagram for the panel in the laundry room. Not that bad. Newer water heater, closet. We got the dining, two basically dining areas and a kitchen, and that's just turning around. And then so more views of the kitchen, the living room. That's a bedroom. This is actually the master bath. It was a work in progress, so he's got this thing under construction. And when I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, this thing needs probably at least $40-$50 a square foot, because we got this drywall stuff. All this is drywall. It's not mudded or anything. He's got paint swatches on here. So I mean, I can tell this guy, it's a live-in flip essentially. This is the backyard. This is another one of the bedrooms. Another bedroom. This is actually the bedroom of the tenant that was living there, and it's the cleanest, most organized bedroom in the whole thing. So these bedrooms are right next to one another. This is just it's a place for return vents, and then you made a little storage area right here. Storage, deep freeze. I'm just taking photos of anything and everything I can see at this point. You got some fire block or some foam there, insulation. Um, the vents on the floor look newer. You got this weird transition here. Just taking as many photos as I possibly can. And then I went ahead and went outside. Took pictures of that. Went all the way around the house. I like to get exterior and interior pictures. All the way around the house. Get the yard, corner to corner. Because I was just like, I don't fucking know. It's on septic. Shed. Get the shed with it. Shed comes with it, by the way. I asked him if everything comes with it, like all the tools and stuff, and he said no. So, I mean, it's not horrible. And the cool thing was that this is basically um, a whole neighborhood of mobile homes on large plots of land. So you're on a mobile home on an acre, so's your neighbor, so's their neighbor, so's their neighbor. So it's cool. It's not just one mobile home out on an acre out in the middle of nowhere. It's a nice little, not community, but nice little contiguous neighborhood. That's right, baby. We go under the house. If there's a hole, I'm going in it. If there's a crawl space, I'm crawling. I want to get all the photos. So I was like, oh, looky there. That looks like a professional job. We've got duct taped, literal duct tape connecting this duct, which is patched with duct tape as well, to this plenum right here. And then a shit ton of foam to seal it up. Which, hey, whatever's clever, man. All the piping looks good. There's nothing hanging, nothing leaking. It wasn't wet down there. So everything basically looks on the up and up. I'm not a mobile home inspector. I'm not a home inspector. I'm not a professional this or that, but I know when shit looks fucked up, this didn't look too bad, just messy. I have a little construction background. I've been on vast number of job sites, and I have my apprentice license in a couple different trades. Never made it to journeyman, but I know my way around a job site, I guess. I know enough to get into trouble, not enough to get out. So that's essentially the overview of the property, what it looked like. We're going to go over the seller avatar real quick. Guy was an oil field guy, and we'll go over the call. You'll be able to hear him. Cars in the shop, he doesn't really, he didn't really, he's doing all this work, but he didn't have his car. So, and Home Depot doesn't necessarily, you can't Uber Eats some 2x4s by Home Depot. You probably could, but it might end up costing you more. He was doing all the repairs on this house himself. His kids are grown, moved out, empty nester. He was renting a room to a tenant, so he knew the deal, but he also knew that he wasn't a real estate guy, so he didn't really know much about it. He actually ended up negotiating himself down to a reasonable price point. So again, lead source was the REIAF free Discord group. Do not sleep on this. These guys are really there to help, and they are providing a shit ton of tools for you to be successful. This lead type, I think, came off as it was just maybe a high equity owner. I don't think it was absentee, actually. I think it was high equity mobile home on land. If it was absentee, I think it was because he had a PO box or something like that. But the deal closed. Normal closing time frame, 30 days. I think it actually ended up closing a little less than that, but it was assigned in less than 24 hours, assigned to an end buyer. So we'll go over real quick some things that I generally try to run my business like. I split my sales process of acquisitions into two separate parts. I'm no longer doing one call closes. I think it's too much to try to cram into one phone call. So the first thing I do is I try to place people into buckets, right? If I'm calling a big list of 500 or 1,000 people, my first goal is to place people into buckets, a yes bucket and a no bucket. Um, and the yes or no is the question of, you know, are you looking to sell your house? Um, so that way, what I can do is I can generate a bunch of leads, and then I can fill that yes bucket up, and then I can stop generating leads. I can go back and I can close those yeses and get them under contract. Then once those get going, I can go back and I can generate more leads. So this is a way to identify distressed sellers. It's just a pre-qualification process, or actually a disqualification process at the same time. So the main things out of these pillars, as you can tell, there are 7 pillars at the bottom of the screen right there. I focus on essentially price first and foremost. Timeline, I'm wanting to get that around 30 days. And potential deal killers, anything that's going to derail this. The number one deal killer that tends to derail a deal is what are called influencers. That is friends, family, spouses, heirs to a property. People just have different relationships with family than they have with anybody else. So usually, if you're talking to a guy, you want to check if they're married. If they are married, you want to make sure that the wife is on the same page. And the same thing with a woman and her husband. Because those people, when it comes to big decisions, I know me and my wife, we talk about big decisions before we make them. I'm not going to sell my house without talking to my wife. My wife's not going to sell our house without talking to me. So it's very important that you get everybody on the same page, because it does happen that can kill your deal. Timeline is also a deal killer. All of these are actually deal killers: price, timeline, competition, availability, condition. I don't think condition, but I mean, there is such thing as a house that is too messed up. But you know, price is the first deal killer, but it's a tricky one because people aren't going to give you an honest answer up front. Timeline is probably second runner up for deal killer, but it's a good follow up feeder, because a lot of people don't want to sell right now. They want to wait and see what's going to happen. Da 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 da. So, um, this is not the time for long conversations. And what I'm saying here is your pre-qual process. Your pre-qualification is not the time for building rapport and finding out what somebody's issue is, and all that kind of stuff. And that's why I don't have motivation on here, because that's kind of a thing that I guess I view differently than most people, is that I'm not going to have a conversation. I've actually made it a point not to have a conversation about motivation on the first call. Now, if it's information that is just offered up by the seller, I'll play ball, but I'd rather have that conversation face to face, or at least on a later phone call after I've manufactured some rapport and got some equity in the conversation there. So if it happens, it's okay. If the person you're talking to loves to talk, or you guys have a chemistry and it's easy to talk to them, that's good. Let that happen. This is called rapport. Timeline and motivation are directly connected. They influence each other. One of the main objections that I hear all the time is, where am I going to go if I sell? What am I going to do? Sell my house and be homeless? Timeline and motivation often go hand in hand, but not always. It is helpful to think of them together because they can influence each other. Now, here's the thing. In my process, I don't always uncover true motivation or timeline until I'm on the acquisition call or I'm sitting face to face with the seller. Why? Because people aren't always honest up front initially, especially if they're on a popular list, number one, and they're getting called, just hammered by people day in and day out, number two. It happens. So understand that happens, and that's going to happen to you. And try to work through it. Try to stay steady and try to understand the person on the other end of the phone and what they're dealing with, what they've been dealing with, and what is supposed to set you apart. Um, but for timeline and motivation, for example, many sellers worry that if I sell my house, where am I going to go? What am I going to sell my house to you and I'm going to end up homeless? That's a valid question, because if you have a home and you sell that home and you haven't looked for another home, yeah, you're going to sell your house and you're going to be homeless. And that can be scary and that fear can paralyze them. So, but here's the good news. The good news is that we solve problems. My wife, Elisa Dees, is a realtor here in North Texas with BK Real Estate, the fastest growing brokerage in North Texas. So she could probably help your seller find a house, right? So use that. Use your network. Your network is your net worth, people. But back to the sellers. Sometimes you'll meet someone who really wants to sell. They're just done with the property. But even then, they might need help finding a new place or getting financing. That's where referrals come in. Buyers agents, loan officers, these connections are another way to monetize your leads. Now, sellers might think it'll take me 90 days to find a place, which can throw off your timeline, even if their motivation is high. But remember, resourceful people make things happen. When there's a lot of money on the line, people can work out miracles. That that was the deal with this deal here. This guy wanted me to help him and his wife find a new place, and before I could even get the ball rolling on that, they already moved out. They didn't need help. They did it on their own. This dude was about to get paid, so he moved out in like 2 days. But we brought it up and we had the conversation, and I provided a solution. I was like, yeah, my wife's a realtor, BK Real Estate. Not only is she an agent, but we know like 25 other agents. So there is someone in my phone right now that can help you find a house. Where are y'all trying to go? Be resourceful, use your brain, use your network, provide solutions. Actually reaching out to the leads. Like I said, I split my acquisition process up into different parts. The pre-qualification process is not it has nothing to do with sales. It's still marketing at that point. Simple, concise, 5 minutes. And I'm asking questions that are essentially about price, timeline, competition. I want to know if they are working with an agent or a broker. And I honestly want to know if they're talking to other investors, other wholesalers. I bet you got a lot of people blowing your phone up, don't you? Am I the first or the 50th person to call you today and ask you about selling your house? So it's very simple, very concise, and it's just used for appointment setting. So we've got price, timeline, competition, availability, and appointment. Are you available to meet up? Let's set an appointment. After that happens, you run your numbers, you come up with your offer, then you can have an acquisition call. You can have an acquisition call and you can still have an appointment. Um, by all means, if you're a one call closer, keep doing your thing. I don't recommend it because it's not comfortable for me. That's the main reason, is that I don't like it. There are some people that are really good at it. More power to you. I set appointments. I go on appointments. I've had luck with that recently. That's what I'm going with. The ability to pivot and change and grow on the spot is something that I've learned to embrace and not be so stuck in a rigid kind of process. Having a process is good. Being a prisoner to that process is not. If you're doing virtual in many different markets, you're probably going to have to do all this on the phone and you're not going to be able to set physical appointments. I understand that. I don't really have a lot for that because that's not what this is about. So, set appointments, bridge gaps, and close deals. That's what we're doing here. So, the call, again, getting right into it, started off horribly. I was just going to write it off as a bad call, but I stuck with it and it opened up. And let's take a listen.
Call me. What's up?
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, what's up?
So right off the bat, this dude answers the phone like, "Yo, why you calling me? What's up?" I don't know how y'all handle that. It used to catch me off guard. Not really anymore. I just rolled with it.
Chris, I'm
I was just like, "Hey, Chris," because I went into friend mode. Like I'm talking to him like I already know him.
calling about the house on Stony Valley Drive in Ponder. Do you still own that house?
The address doesn't have any numbers, so the only thing I can really say is call call about the house on Stony Valley Drive. Do you still own it?
Yeah.
So right here, right off the bat, I understand that I have the correct phone number. I have the correct owner. This is the guy I need to be talking about. I know in my head I'm not going to have to re-skip trace this. It's not going to go back into the dialer. Even if it did, I only got one phone number for him, so that's good.
I wonder if you might be interested in selling it.
I don't know what you giving us for it.
So the second question, like once I find out correct number, you do own the address, and you are interested, I'll ask you if you're interested in selling it. So those are my three main questions right off the top, and it's only been 17 seconds. Hey, Chris, calling about the house on Stony Valley. Do you still own it? Yeah. You interested in selling it? Depends. 17 seconds in, if he'd have said no, I'm done and I'm on to the next. This is pre-qualification. I'm not getting my hopes up trying to close every single person I talk to. I'm just putting people into buckets. 17 seconds, that's not bad for a no. I try to get to know as quick as possible. That's why I'm asking so many questions.
What was the full? Only thing I have on here is Stony Valley Drive. I don't have a number.
What you got? Huh? Hang on. Do I?
What was the full address on it? For some reason, I just have Stony Valley Drive in Ponder, Texas. I don't have a street number or anything.
1470.
1470.
Cool thing about this dialer, I use ready mode. It's got a tab right here called Zillow. I can just click Zillow and it'll open a new tab. You can't see, but it'll actually go off of the address. But if the address doesn't have a number, then it's just going to pick some random address with that same street name. So 1470 was the number there. Zillow page. And I get this estimate right here. So this is what I ran my numbers on. 320, 700. I'll just bring that down to 320 times 0.85, 272. That's my max appointment offer. My MAO is my max appointment offer. I'm going to undershoot that and say 240, 250. And that is just to get me in the door. That is not my offer. That is not my purchase price. But it lines up with this rentals estimate right here at 2,500. 2,500, 1%, that's 250. So those two link up, we're good to go. As long as they accept that and they give me my appointment, I'm good. I can always come back with a lower number later. I like to look at the Zillow property while I'm on the phone with people. Sometimes there will be photos. There's at least going to be a Google Maps street view photo. So I can see at least over the past, sometimes the photo might be from a couple years ago. Sometimes it might be current. If that's all I got, that's all I got. It's better than a shot in the dark. So my intention here is I'm going to ask him how much he wants. If they don't come up with a number, I'm just going to use this estimate. And in order to get the appointment, but still set the tone for a discount, I'm going to do 80 to 85% of that Zestimate. But I'm not going to go for the jugular on the pre-qual call.
Four bedroom, 3 bath, 2128 square foot, thereabouts.
Yep.
How much y'all be looking to get for it if you did sell it?
I don't know. Not my ball game. I don't know the. I know I know tax appraiser put it at 300,000.
Boom. The first number that they give, whether it's a tax appraisal, as estimate, my neighbor said, my mom's a realtor, whatever, some guy down the street told me X. Whatever that is, treat it as their first number. So he's coming in at 300,000. His estimate, I think, was 320.
What kind of condition is it in?
It's handyman special.
Handyman special. I love those. It's on an acre.
Yep.
Okay. Is this recent condition, or is that how it was when you bought it?
Oh no.
You may or may not be aware of. On this call, I have kind of a southern drawl. I kind of talk like I get a little country accent on me like that. Sometimes I do this and I don't mean to. Sometimes I do this. I will copy who I sound like. If you have a southern accent, I might have a southern accent. Um, Never been called out on it. It's just kind of something. Maybe they're from Maine, or maybe they're from Philly, Rhode Island. I will habitually start talking like them, and it's just something that happens. It might come off as ridiculous sometimes, but the basic fact of the matter is that, and so people will keep talking, even if they're just like trying to figure out if I'm bullshitting or not. But I'm from the South, so if I'm talking to somebody with a Southern accent, it's gonna come out.
It's yeah, those pictures are old as hell.
Okay.
But you have to look at it, man.
Yeah, I mean,
You got to look at it, man. To me, that means physical appointment. Come look at the house, man. I don't want to talk on the phone anymore. Just come look at it. Make me your offer. Do what you got to do.
are y'all living there?
Yeah,
When do you think we can come see it?
that maybe tomorrow afternoon or
Tomorrow.
this evening. It don't matter to me.
Okay, let's see here.
I'm there on the weekend.
You
Whatever.
married?
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked him if he was married.
You're almost 2 hours away from me. I'm over here in Wiley. I'm on the other
No
side of
shit.
DFW. Why don't I send the offer to your email? What's your best email for you?
Youngman.1 @gmail.
Handyman dot at Gmail.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why don't I send you over the offer? You can look it over with your wife, and maybe give you a call back Monday. Give you all the weekend to look it over.
Yeah.
That sound good?
What do you think the low ball going that place?
So this is interesting. He started off saying the appraiser has it for 300. I'll sell it for, and then I made an offer. I was like, well, I'm at 250. What do you think? He's 240, 250. He's like, yeah, 250. I told him I was going to send him a contract, and he said, what do you think a low ball is going to go for? That means that he knows that 250 is going to come down. 250 ain't going to get it done because it needs a lot of work.
What do I think a low ball would go for?
Yeah.
Maybe 200. I don't know. I'm not sure what the low ballers are doing.
Uh,
So if we do 320, it's out in Ponder, so I'm going to do 65%. Right there, that's 208, 200, probably minus 40, $50,000, 150. Just back of the napkin math. That's no fee, no nothing.
I would say probably if it's worth about 300, and it's out in Ponder, they're probably going to come in somewhere around 150 max.
yeah. Man, it needs a lot of work, so I ain't gonna lie to you.
It needs a lot of work, man. I'm telling you. Doesn't really tell me much. I can assume. I know what that means. I can assume that means literally mean anything. So the floor fell out. The roof's got a hole in it. It's got water damage, mold.
Like what all's left needs to be done to it?
Nah, kitchen, bathrooms.
Kitchens and bathrooms.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Sheetrock repair, uh, skirting. I've done all the floors, subfloors. Just got to do some patches. But, and again, that's in the kitchen and the bathrooms.
So he just listed off a lot of stuff.
I had it rented out for a while, and they tore the motherfucker up.
Yeah, that's typical with rent.
Green light. He dropped the first F bomb, so now F bombs are okay. 5 minutes in, basic more motivation comes out. I had it rented out before. The motherfuckers tore it up. He was an absentee owner. He was a landlord, and his tenants were problem tenants. And they tore. He's motivated. If they tell you some fucked up shit that happened, and you're like, "Damn, that sucks," that's motivation. You just listed off 20 things that this house needs. Now I'm more motivated to go out.
Typical with renters.
I had to claim vandalism on the insurance just so I can get some money. Fix up
Oh yeah.
some bit.
He said I had to file a claim on insurance just so I could get some money. Motivation. So I'm just going to let him keep talking because the more he talks, the better this gets.
What were you able? How long ago did you have it rented?
10 years ago.
Oh,
Somewhere.
I was gonna ask how much you were able to get for it, how much they were paying you in rent.
Well, that's the thing is I was renting it to my sister.
Oh, okay.
He rented it out to his sister, which means he probably gave her a player deal on rent or some sort of agreement there.
No oil field at the time, so I didn't need the money. She needed a house. She just paid the mortgage,
There you go.
which she seldom did that.
Uh,
So I was paying for her to live there and trash my fucking house.
So he said that I rented it to my sister. I didn't really charge her anything. Only thing she had to do was pay the mortgage, and she barely did that. So I was paying for her to live in my house and mess it up.
By the time I got back and I got tired of it, I finally had enough of it. Trash just tore up.
yeah, I hear you, man. Last couple properties I bought personally for the company is the same kind of story.
I think we still owe like
I didn't even ask him that. He was just going to voluntarily offer up how much he owed, what the balance of the mortgage was.
Well, let me look into it. I'll type this offer up and send it to you.
what company you work for?
Name of my company is called Double E Investment Properties.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm kind of excited, but I'm not trying to show it. I don't have an offer for him. What I want to do is I want to get off the phone. I want to create some distance. I want to get in my zone and I want to comp the hell out of this property. Where are we at? What is the value of this thing? Because we are now down to I think the last number that was put out there was 150. 150 is where we're at, and he's still on the phone. So obviously,
Right now is not really the best time to be selling in the market because, well, for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's election time, so
Fucking Biden.
everybody's kind of scared to buy right now.
Biden joke. And at first, it can seem kind of torturous, but at the end of the day, dude, they're not having this type of conversation with other people. I'm not saying this is a great conversation. I have to come up with shit to say to somebody I don't know, and I have to tie it back into real estate. That's fucking hard. It's hard to talk to people you don't know, number one, and it's hard to talk to people you don't know about real estate. It's an art form, man, and I'm not ashamed to say it, but I know that this is not the most polished conversation. Keep in mind, I had no idea that this deal was going to go like this. I'm just trying not to I'm just trying to have a conversation at this point. I don't think I'm going to buy this house. I really don't. Price is too high and it's out in Ponder and it's just I mean, a couple of things are checking off. I'll run numbers on it. I'll make him an offer, not getting my hopes up. At this point, probably 50-50 shot that I buy this deal at best.
Our plan, me and my wife's plan is we want to sell it and downsize. What we want to do.
Okay,
But I don't need all that extra.
is it just
Boom, motivation. Right there. The truth comes out. Talked about Biden, let him run his Biden joke. I don't give a shit about politics, whatever. You hate Biden, good for you, man. Then for some reason, fuck Joe Biden tied directly into what me and my wife's plan here is to sell and downsize. Again, I didn't ask him that. I did not ask him what his plan was.
okay?
Wanting to sell and downsize. There's your motivation. There's your reason for selling right there. 8 minutes in.
But I don't need all that extra.
Is it just y'all, or y'all got kids, or
We got one kid living with us.
okay?
One kid still living there. The other kid moved out.
I got all that land, and the more land I got, the more shit I collect. So
More land I got, the more shit I collect.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm trying to break that habit. And the only way to break that habit is to
Not
not
allow
have
yourself
the,
the room.
yeah, yeah.
I hear you, man. Well, let me get working on this. See if we can come up with a plan to help y'all out.
I got the motivation. I got the price. I got.
Do y'all
All right,
already,
bud.
where y'all wanting to move to?
Somewhere between Denton and Little Elm.
In Little Elm. My wife's a realtor.
Maybe,
I can have her look at see what's over there.
maybe
Y'all.
Referrals, baby.
down in maybe Argyle. Argyle is fucking expensive. No,
Yeah, it shot up.
maybe, yeah. Everywhere shot up, man.
Yeah,
Crazy.
crazy.
I mean, that's y'all's business. It's you know the ins and outs. I don't. I just live where I live.
Right, I hear you. All right, man. Well, let me get working on this. I'll give you a call back if I forgot about something. I probably did, so I might be talking to
Yeah.
you here soon.
All right, bud.
All right, man. Thanks. Bye bye.
Call opened up. Um, it was not the greatest call. Actually, started off horribly. I did not even have the address. Uh, I was going to write it off as a bad call, but I stuck with it, kept an open mind, stuck with it, and it opened up. After I got the contract signed from him, I believe the last number that we landed on was about 200,000, and I tried to go lower, and he said, "No, we're gonna leave it at 200,000." Um, and I was like, "That's probably best, just to let you know I'm not buying." I kind of reiterated, like, "I'm not buying it for 200. That's too much for me. I'll be honest with you. But what I can do is I can, show it to the guys across the hall where I work at. I can show it to other people that I know buy mobile homes out here. I mean, I have seen people pay some stupid money for some stuff, so worth a shot, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, since you're not buying it and you're just showing it to people, why don't we just shoot for 250?" I was like, "No, it doesn't really work like that." I had a number in my head when I came down here. 200 was actually above that number, so um I think that 200, I kind of like talked him down off that ledge. I was like, "I think 200 is a good starting point. If you're good with that, if I can I'll try to get you 200. I'm not making any promises, no promises, no expectations. I will try." And he's like, "Well, I don't know, man, because what happens? What happens if you can't?" And I'm like, "Great question. So here's what's going to happen. If I try to get you 200 and it turns out that I can't, and I went ahead and threw some other shit in there. I was like, I'm probably going to, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm going to schedule as many people. I want to walk as many people through this house as possible. And when I say walk, I mean, I'm just going to give them the address and they're going to show up and they're going to come in and they're going to do what I did. They're going to take pictures and da da da. They might try to talk with you about price. If you could just leave that up to me because I got to work out my spread. Like at this point, I had nothing to lose. So I was just being 100% honest. I was like, let me work out my little spread. Like I'm not going to try to hit the lottery, but I am going to try to make a little money here if that's okay. He's like, "Yeah, sure." So I was like, I'm going to run a bunch of people through here and then they're going to try to lowball me and then I will work on getting their offers up and then the highest one takes it. He's like, "Okay." So then I went back home and ran comps and I started putting it out there on Facebook and the REIAF Discord, and I started getting hits on it. And then I got another appointment in Garland and got that one locked up. And then they left, so I was just walking around taking photos of the house that I just got under contract. And this dude calls me and he's like, "Hey man, you know how you said 180 for that house?" I was like, "No. Why? Are you wanting to sell it for 180?" And he goes, "Well, I just think it might help." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, it couldn't hurt. I will tell them. I'll let everybody know that it's 180 now." And he goes, "All right." And he waits for a minute and he goes, "You think 150 would do it?" I was like, holy moly. I was like, why stop there? Let's just go to 130. just to try, you know. He's like, all right, yeah. And I was like, holy shit. I think I said like 120 or something, and then he countered at like 130. Either way, during that conversation that I wasn't even at home or the office or whatever, he talked himself down from 200 to 130. So he negotiated another $70,000 off of his own price. And so that was cool. And then I got a text message from my buddy Jack at New Western, and he wanted to know the details. And then he sent me an assignment. And then he said, to be honest, you need to throw some earnest money to seller to have an enforceable contract. He's a broker, so he's always talking about rules and stuff. He said, might want to do amendment with him for $10 or something if you want, just a future heads up. I was like, all right, thanks, signed. I was like, do you know if anyone wants to see it today? I'm probably not going to be in Ponder anymore. And he goes, I'll let you know, but probably not. I was like, all right, cool. Boom, 259. So this was at 11. I signed it at 6:26 in the morning, and he sold it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So 6:30 to 7, that's 30 minutes. We got 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. For 8.5 hours it took to get this deal sold. And there were no further hiccups between then and closing. And it went off without a hitch. 20 grand wired to my bank account. I'm sure you've seen the screenshot. And so that is the full exploded analysis of this deal and kind of how it went down. So, final thoughts. I would say focus on execution. Right, I took a note earlier because I heard something really good. Results live in execution and implementation of useful information. So if you got something useful from this video, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Just go out there and execute, man. Call your leads, build rapport, set appointments, go on appointments, get things locked up under contract. You never know what's going to happen. Use Deal Machine and other tools to streamline your process. Join the REIAF free Discord group. Again, this entire thing would not have been possible without them.